One of the most common questions I get is how do I generate quality new patients online? Not one and done patients, not price shoppers, patients that can appreciate your product, your service. The reason this is important is not just because the practice wants to grow, but in fact, in a survey of more than 4,000 dental offices, the average practice loses 25% of their patients each year. This is a survival question. This is not just about evolving into the kinds of products and services you want, and it's not just about growth and exit strategies. It's about survival. But it is definitely important to be able to have a handle on this to generate the kind of patients that you want. So when patients are leaving practices or when they're looking for dentists, where do they go? Where does everyone go to search for almost anything today? They go to Google. Let's break down the Google search results page. The top of this page, as you may well know, is the Google Ads section. You can get into that section, but you have to pay to play. It's called pay per click. Often is the generic term for it, and it costs about $5 a click to run an ad here. So each click you're driving to your website is expensive, and it can be very expensive to acquire patients this way. Center of this page, which dominates the majority of the real estate, is what we call the Google Map listings, the Google My Business section. We're calling it a three pack because it only shows three sections, three results. And that's important for you to remember. The bottom section is the organic section. There's no differentiation. And really today, in the look, in a recreation of a mobile search, you'll see how little real estate Google themselves give this section. This section is really not as important. Our conversation today is going to focus on this center section, the Google My Business listing. The reason why it's going to focus on that section is because that section really accentuates our question in the best way. 89% of consumers make the effort to read. I love this because it's focusing on making the effort to read. 90% of patients are looking for reviews to decide on which dentist they're going to go to. It's important. And not only are they looking at those reviews, look at how they react to these reviews. 79% say they trust reviews as much as personal recommendations. So if you recall, most practices claim or experience that their growth or their flow of new patients is generally coming from internal referrals. Well, this is the future of internal referrals, because if you're trusting reviews as much as you are your friends, then it's much easier to get onto Google than it is to get your friend to pick up the phone today. So this is the place that you really need to focus on to identify and to attract patients to the practice. So the question becomes, I have a great reputation. How do I know if the patients that are around my office are actually seeing my reviews, right? These are the patients that are closest to you, and they're looking for reviews for the keywords that are important for you. You should be able to visualize and see if those reviews are showing up where that patient is. This is a map. This is what's called a local radius scan. This is something that every dentist needs to have seen before or needs to see in the future. Why? Because this is going to be able to visualize for yourself the saturation, the accessibility of your reviews and your reputation to the patients that are around you, that are searching for your keywords, that are wanting to see your reviews. This has the dentist office in the center, in this position here, and then we're going out 1.5 mile in any direction. The total distance is 3 by 3. Each of these little circles or pins are spaced between each other at a 1/4 mile. So as you can see, this office, which the numbers represent where they're on the maps, anything above a 3 means they're not on that first page like we saw before. They only have a saturation of a 1/4 mile around the office. So if someone searched for dental emergency and they were a 1/2 mile away from the office, they wouldn't even see your reviews. So how could you expect to generate a patient that way from that search? The reality is that this should give you a focus and an ability to appreciate where you need to focus your efforts. Once you're able to focus on these efforts, you're able to create transformations. This is a January through August transformation where now you can see all the ones, twos, threes. Those are all areas where now this dental practice is showing for the keyword dental emergency and generating far more new patients that way. So if you look at what the results are from doing something of the sort, you can see in a comparison of our client that's running both paid ads and SEO, they spend $4,000 to generate 61 leads. It's $65 a lead on pay per click. It's worth it. It's all on four. It's implant and it's ortho. That's all they're running. But on the SEO side, they're generating 103 leads for a fraction of the price. There's a tremendous amount of additional volume and opportunity and lower acquisition costs to focus on SEO. And it's important to consider it as a long-term strategy. Pay-per-click is going to continue to get more expensive, even though it might still be a tremendous ROI. So if you have not seen a map like this, we welcome you. The first 50 applicants that apply will run a free radius scan for the top 5 keywords that are relevant to you. You can contact me, Isaac Gorin. The email and phone number are there. You can call, text, email, however you would like. We'll be happy to run a scan like this. Visualize it. At least be in the know. See what your saturation is. See how far patients can see your reviews so that you can have control over the source of your new patients.